Alright guys, so I recently watched a video from Mr. L. Boyd. Alright. Now he was talking about this interview with Piers Morgan. Alright. Now I might have heard the name before, but don't recognize it or remember it. I might have seen this guy, here and there, but I never listened to him. Alright. Uh, but look, the way he conducted this interview, in my opinion, was horrible. I'm going to show you guys exactly why. Something just didn't feel right with the way he was acting. Alright. So I went ahead and did some research on the guest that was on his show. Alright. So I'm actually going to try and give you guys more of a full story instead of just a one-sided argument. Alright. And that's pretty much what I think we got from this interview.
Figures today revealed that obesity costs British taxpayers almost £14 billion a year. Obese patients cost the British Health Service twice as much as those of a healthy weight. But the body positivity movement preaches that fat is now fabulous, and that its craze is fatfluencers who rake in cash by boasting about, well, being fat.
What I eat in a day is a fat bitch. Let's go. I don't know how many times I have to tell you bitches, I'm going to start my morning off with a Starbucks iced coffee.
So here's my opinion about this. The point of view that we're getting here is they are just happy with the way they are. Alright. That is not to say everyone should be like me. That's not what I'm getting at all. If they showed a clip of someone saying that, then of course I'm going to disagree with them. Alright.
And I had a Mackey's, and then I had a few mouthfuls of this cake, but it wasn't as...
Oh yeah, come on, you get the limo out front.
Really? That's what people are watching? Apparently. Well, TikTokers like my next guest are putting the pound in.
Hot 30i is just $89.99. Do you like sweets? Well, you can get 2 kilos of sweets for £10.
Promoting obesity.
No, I'm promoting a good deal. $25.99 for 63 rolls of toilet paper. A donut maker from Tower. All of these products have 2-year warranty. A candy floss maker. And a chocolate fountain.
Okay.
So look, what we're seeing from these clips isn't about overeating or anything like that. It's really not. This is about trying to sell products. That's what it is. If we just stop for a moment and think about all the stuff he was trying to sell, what were they? A phone, toilet paper, and candy. It was not all candy. It was not all junk food. Oh, right.
So I'm joined by TikTok star George Keyword, who you just saw there, and Sienna.
Bargains.
Huh?
That's what I say, bargains.
Bargains. All right. And his wife Sienna, and the host.
Bargains. That's what he's promoting here. He's trying to sell people a product. Go here, click this link, and get a good deal on something. That's what he's trying to do. Alright? He's not saying, if you eat a lot and look like me, then you can get a great deal. He's not saying that at all.
Host of the Blair White Project, Blair. Why? Okay, listen. Blair, I'll come to you in a moment. First of all right, George, let me get some stats.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how much do you weigh?
Look, I'm not going to talk about numbers because the thing is, I
think you should.
No. The thing is, if I give you the number of how much I weigh, it's going to be all over the Sun, all those trashy newspapers tomorrow morning. I don't need it. Don't need it.
Well, you don't need it. You're on TikTok every day
thing
showing
is,
us how big you are.
Yeah, and look,
and you're proud of it.
No. There's a difference. There's proud.
If he was proud of it, he would have gave you the number. That's my interpretation of this. And I'm going to show you guys a clip of a music video of an artist who, I have lots of respect for. All right. And I'm just going to show you guys that just because someone shows how big they are does not mean that they're proud of it. Doesn't mean that they want other people to look like that. Doesn't mean anything. All right. It just means that they're not afraid to show people what they really look like. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's just being positive in my own skin, and that's what I am.
Right.
I'm not proud to be fat.
Would you
accept
that by medical definition you are morbidly obese?
Look, if that's what medically you want to call it, then call it.
Well, no,
fine.
you know your weight. I don't.
No. But that's you could say that. Yeah.
Right. So here's my issue with this body positivity thing. People shouldn't be celebrating being morbidly obese, in my estimation.
That's not what he said. See, this right here is trying to take one thing and just twist it around to something else. He didn't say celebrate the fact that I'm fat. He didn't say that. He said I'm just trying to be comfortable in my own skin.
But that's
because actually it is a dangerous condition that causes many people to die.
Look, you've got a fair point. It is dangerous. It can lead to dangerous issues, which could, diabetes and so on. And that is an issue. But we don't encourage gaining weight. There's a difference between the videos you just showed on the screen.
Come off,
what we're
George,
talking about now.
You're doing these TikToks are all geared to you.
No. You're showing people encouraging eating food. I'm just saying, wow, look at the pizza. Look, it's from Costco. It's nice.
No, you're not. You're not. You are. Sorry, George.
That's what I'm doing.
You are glorifying, scoffing.
It's called taking the piss. That's what it is.
Well, maybe.
That's what it is. It's having a laugh and not taking yourself too seriously.
Why is it funny?
Because it is funny. You know it is funny.
It's
you had a little
funny.
smirk yourself before.
I actually don't find this kind of thing funny.
This argument right here is horrible. All right, it just is. In a lot of these clips, he is just being a big guy. All right, that's it. He's just being a big guy and trying to make funny videos. Is he trying to make funny videos about his weight in every single video? No, absolutely not. That just happens to be a running theme in a lot of them, but not all. So the point that I'm trying to make right now is, just because he's a big guy and he's making funny videos does not mean he's just making light of the situation. All right? Or trying to say, oh, it's really okay if you're fat and you look like me. All right?
I think
come on.
I actually think it's quite sad.
It's not sad. It's comedy.
Let me bring him.
It's satire comedy.
Well, maybe
it is.
You
know it is. You know it is, Piers.
Can't even let the man talk. You sit there, you badger him, throw out accusations, just constant accusations, and then as soon as he tries to start talking and trying to correct the record, you have to keep interrupting him, and now we're going to move on to someone else. Why can't you let the man talk? You can't give the man at least a minute to counter some of the arguments you made?
I've been an actor for 13 years.
George,
damn right I know how this industry works.
George, I'll come back to you in a moment.
Come on.
Let me just go to Blair White in Austin, in Texas. Blair, I do have a problem with this because I think it's...
So, I'm going to skip past this part, and I'm pretty sure when we go back to him, if we even do, let's see.
To this.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable completely? When you see the statistics about obesity in this country, the cost to the NHS, what it costs the country, are you comfortable about this?
The way I see it is, firstly, just us personally, we have private healthcare, so the NHS isn't a thing for us. I do understand that it is costing the NHS a lot. I think it's a bigger problem to address, though. I think it's about educating people when they're young to make healthy food choices. I think a lot of the time when you grow up in poverty, like George and I have, a lot of the time you don't have the healthiest options.
Yeah, but my response to that would be, okay, but you've managed not to end up as George has weight-wise. And I don't mean to denigrate you, George. I'm just saying,
genetics, though, couldn't it?
It-
You know,
no,
You also have to look at genetics too. You have to, I mean, everyone is different. Some people, just like Mr. L. Boyd said, you know, he has a cousin that can eat all day long and not lift a finger and still is extremely thin. All right? You know, some people's systems just work differently than others, and it's harder for them to lose weight. All right? There's a lot of factors that goes into that, though. So it's not like you could just use that as an excuse and say, well, my body works different, so I can't lose weight. In that case, I would say, no, that just means you need to work harder in order to, you know, get yourself healthy. All right? That's just the way it works. We all have different struggles. We're all going to struggle with something. All right? But back to the point that he was trying to make. He was trying to say, I am an entertainer. I try to entertain people. I try to make people laugh. And I think what he was trying to say was, it just so happens that I'm a big guy. That's just the way it is. All right. And so, what is he doing a lot of times? He's using something that he thinks is funny. He thinks it's funny that he is so overweight. All right. And this is just a matter of people around him to come and give him constructive criticism and say, that's not really funny. All right. You know, doing the video with the phone, the way that he was holding the case and everything else is just not funny. All right. But at the same time, people have to tell him how that looks and what type of, you know what I'm saying? So we really have to be more honest. All right. You know, and as a matter of fact, there was someone that was really heavy that everyone loved, and he joked about his own weight all the time. Chris Farley. Just think about that for a moment. All right. You know, Chris Farley once said he wanted to lose weight, you know, but he really thought if he lost weight, we wouldn't like him anymore. He's supposed to be the fat guy. When the fat guy falls down, everyone laughs. You know what I'm saying? That was the way he thought about the world. You know, and I'm sure everyone kept trying to tell him that is not the way it works. All right. I don't know that for a fact, but hopefully they did. And that message just might not have ever gotten through. All right. You know, and a lot of that stems from depression. It stems from demons that is constantly manipulating and, you know, trying to change your thoughts and trying to change your perception of the way the world works. All right. You know, we loved Chris Farley because of his personality, because of his over-the-top acting, because of, you know what I'm saying? Like, we still would have loved him even if he lost a lot of weight and got really healthy. We probably would have loved him even more. All right? But we never had the opportunity to say that because that was something he never talked about. All right? At least not, you know, when he was around that I saw. You know, the only thing, you know, we as the audience saw was just him being happy and having a good time. All right. You know, we didn't get to see what was going on behind the scenes. And I think if we had, things would have been a lot different. You know, and so my question is if Chris Farley was still around, would Piers Morgan bring Chris Farley on the show and badger him for glorifying being fat. And tell him, well, you shouldn't try and entertain people anymore because you're fat. Now, I think you might be seeing where I'm going with this. Are you going to tell this man, because you're fat, no one wants to see you? Because he said, I am an entertainer. Alright? So is that where you're going with this? No one wants to see a fat guy. Stop trying to entertain people. I really think that's where he's going with this. Alright?
No, it's not.
could be
What it
I don't think
is,
it's genetics, is it?
No, I believe it's because my parents were like cool hippie vegetarians, whereas George's were not.
But are you comfortable? You've got a son, right? Are you comfortable about his current weight? Do you think when he does this stuff on TikTok, are you really laughing or are you concerned about him?
I'm concerned not so much about his weight, but more about his well-being, and
well, the two go hand in hand.
Sienna, you definitely glorify it, Sienna, and you guys post videos where you're juggling his fat and you talk about how attractive it is. And for me, when I look for a romantic partner,
we all knows what gets
I look for someone that would make me a better version of myself.
Well, yeah,
not
but
a worse
George,
one.
the point Blair's making is a sound one. You say it's to get views. We know that,
Yeah, of course.
and you're making money from it.
Of course.
But the question is, there's no incentive for you to actually lose any weight because at that stage, your TikTok persona
George is actually on a weight loss journey, and I fully support that. I think it's more like having a laugh at yourself, making the best of.
You know what
the
made me? You know what pulled me around to your side, George? If you now flipped with this.
You see how rude that is? Just how rude that was. I could almost not be able to understand the rest of what she was trying to say. Alright? But I've watched it a few times and I did eventually get it. Alright. So what she was saying was, I think it's just about making the best of the situation you're in. It's as simple as that. But this guy here is so freaking rude, he can't even let her finish that small statement and then say something in regards to that. You know what I'm saying? This is a one-sided conversation right here. This is all about, I'm telling you that you're horrible, and I am not going to listen to anything you have to say. This whole thing is just about proving the fact that you're a horrible human being. Alright?
Big audience you've got, and rather than gorging yourself every day on pizzas and donuts,
but that's not what I do, Piers.
People laughing at you.
But
why don't you actually go on a fitness regime and show people
Piers,
how to lose weight?
If people actually knew what I was thinking and what I'm doing, I'm actually going to be doing it as Ozempic needles privately as well before you start. So all of these things, we're paying out of our own money. We don't cost anyone anything.
How much are you making out of the TikTok?
A lot of money.
Like what?
A lot of money, over 100 grand.
A year?
Over 100 grand a year.
So there's no incentive to lose weight, is there?
No, but it doesn't derive.
There is, and they've already said what the incentive is to get healthy. He said that at the very start. He said that he understands that it can lead to very serious health risks. Alright? So there's the incentive right there. So it's not like he's just in denial, like, oh, everything's fine, I don't have any risks at all. He's not saying that. Alright?
Straight from that. That's from my sales. And that's with the collaborations and the deals.
You don't even want to tell me how much you weigh.
I don't need to.
Are you ashamed of it?
Oh, I'm not
I don't
ashamed.
really understand how you can join a panel about
when you put a number and you put a label on it.
Okay, Blair, final word to you.
I just don't know why he would come on a panel discussing.
Just think about that for a moment. Let me rewind this real quick. Alright? Just...
No incentive to lose weight, is there?
No, but it doesn't derive straight from that. That's from my sales. And that's with the collaborations and the deals.
You don't even want to tell me how much you weigh.
I don't need to.
So he asked the question, and he's sitting there trying to answer it. And as he's doing that, he has to sit there and interrupt him. And then, while he's still trying to talk and trying to explain, what his motivations are and what he's trying to do, let's go back and hear from Blair again. Really? Like, Blair is the smartest person in the room. She's the only one that knows what it's like to walk a mile in his shoes. Is that what's going on here? He apparently cares a lot more about what Blair White has to say than anyone else. Because every 5 minutes is, let's go back to Blair White, see what she has to say. Why? I don't understand why she's even on this panel.
Are you ashamed of it?
Oh, I'm not
I don't
ashamed.
really understand how you can join
should I
a
feel ashamed?
panel about
When you put a number and you put a
obesity
label on
and
it, it
about
just...
weight and
Okay,
not
Blair,
disclose
final
your
word
weight.
to you.
I just don't know why he would come on a panel discussing weight and body positivity, fat positivity, and not
Okay.
actually revealing the
I agree.
his number
Blair,
of his weight.
guys, I'm sorry, I run out of time. Thank you, all of you, very much.
Run out of time. Wow. Great interview, Piers Morgan. I mean, boy, you really nailed all the critical factors. I mean, you really showed, all the important things that an audience member watching this would need to know, right? Not even close. Let's go ahead and take a look at his TikTok. All right.
Do you need to lose some weight? Do you need to do some exercise? I know I do. But look at this beast of a machine. It's a foldable treadmill. So once you're done, just fold it up, put it underneath the sofa. Job done. It's only £329, 28 sold. It's down from £348. Look at that as well. She's got her desk up like that. She's working, she's walking, she's being healthier, she's losing weight. It's just easy. It's easy to do. I've actually got one of these. I'm going to get it out when we move into our new house next week. And I'm going to show you how it works properly. But I guess the main advantage of this is not only is it a great price for a treadmill, it folds away and you can just put it underneath the sofa when you're done. So all of that room is taking up instantly, fold up, bam, underneath the sofa, job done. 1 year warranty, brand new, free shipping, fast delivery, 5 to 7 working days. It's a bargain. Grab it now. Don't be a fool. It's payday.
So, the only thing I do is eat all day long, and I never even think about exercise. Does that hold up? No, absolutely not. Let's watch a few more videos, though.
Taking you out, Joe.
One show left.
There's always one.
Yeah, he's really promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. He is dancing, going bowling. I mean, as far as I can tell, he's a very active guy. Like, I saw him, on swings, doing all kinds of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, he's not making every single element about his weight. Alright? It just happens to be the first thing a lot of people notice when they watch his videos. Oh, look at this big old fat guy. Alright? And I think, that could be part of the problem. Is because he knows that gets attention, and then it was kind of like Chris Farley. I know people think it's funny when the fat guy falls down, and so let's do that, all the time. Alright? Now look, I absolutely love Tommy Boy. That is one of the funniest movies of all time. Alright? There's one element about it, though, that I really, really hate. Alright? And that is because, and keep in mind, I know David Spade, never, meant any of the stuff he said in there. That was the whole thing, right? That this was like part of the show, right? But to know that deep down inside he was, you know, beating himself up over his weight. He hated being the fat guy. All right. And to hear him being made fun of that way, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? It really does. And it just, you know, and I'm sure Chris Farley knew, you know, David Spade isn't, you know, like, he's a friend. He's not, he doesn't feel this way personally. You know, we're just trying to make something funny. I don't know. It's just a difficult thing to think about. All right.
You're not happy. You just can't stop eating. Look, just because some people deal with depression through eating doesn't mean that I do, okay? I'm a very happy, chilled out guy most of the time. Apart from when I'm in live streams with dumbass trolls, I'm a good, decent person, okay? That's the only thing what angers me. I'm not depressed about the size I am. I'm happy in being me, okay? Got a beautiful wife, beautiful life, a lot more going on than what you do, my friend, okay? So you think about yourself before you come attacking me, troll. Oh, I'm happy.
So look, I'm thinking a lot of his, like, character flaws, I would call them, right, stems from people trolling this guy. All right, that's just the way I'm seeing this. All right. You know, and it's just a simple fact of what he's saying right here. Just because some people experience this, all right, you know, you can't just point at me and say, oh, you're just like this person over here that's experiencing that. All right. You can't do that. You don't know this guy personally. All right.
Hey George, I live in an apartment. Would it be noisy for downstairs?
Listen for yourself.
I can hear absolutely nothing.
No, but it's not on yet. You hear that?
That is not noisy, baby, not at all.
No one's going to hear that downstairs at all. Nothing's going to be heard, mate. And the best thing is, after you're done, you got your handheld remote, and then when you're done, you just go like this. Look.
Careful of Oliver.
It's got wheels as well.
Okay. Good.
And then bam.
That's one high quality product.
Done.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, he's just promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. He's only talking about stuffing his face and never exercising. I'll go ahead and quit being sarcastic now. All right. You know, it looks like he's got quite a few different channels on TikTok. I found one earlier that was from a long time ago. And he was showing videos of him, you know, using treadmills just like he was doing here. You know, all kinds of different stuff. You know, he's making dance videos. All right. The point is that the accusations that he got on that show was basically the same thing the trolls were doing. You know, these other people are doing similar things, so I know you're doing the same thing. All right. But they didn't show any videos of him exercising, of him talking about the fact that he knows that he needs to lose weight, and that, you know what I'm saying, they didn't show any of that. You know, they only wanted to show the ones that made it easy for them to spin that narrative. That is my honest opinion. All right. You know, when I look at his videos, that is not what I see. What I see is just a big guy that wants to entertain people. And he wants to sell products. That's it. He just happens to be a big guy, and because he's gotten a lot of attention because of that, he's viewing it like that is something people care about, so that's something I'm going to, talk about and make fun of myself about. That's the way I'm looking at this. Alright? It's kind of like he's making fun of himself. And Chris Farley did the same thing. Like how many times did he fall over and bust through a table? Alright? Was it funny every single time it happened? Yes, it was hilarious. Would it still have been funny if he wasn't fat? Of course. It wasn't funny because he was fat. It was funny because it was Chris Farley doing crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was funny. So, if you are under that impression that people who are overweight should not be entertainers, then you go tell every single Chris Farley fan, don't watch Chris Farley movies anymore. You are glorifying being fat. You go ahead and tell them that. But I don't want to be there when you do. Alright? Because they are not going to like it very much, and neither would I. And it's not about being fat. It is about his personality. It is about the fact that he was an entertainer first, and a big guy second. That's what I'm looking at when I see him. That's not to say this guy's on the level of Chris Farley. That's not what I'm saying at all. The only thing I'm saying is, this guy is trying to be an entertainer, and that just happens to be a big guy. Alright. Now, if all his videos was talking about, I eat, 20 whole pizzas a day. I eat a whole tub of ice cream in one city. If he was doing that kind of stuff, alright, then you can bring someone on your show and badger them and tell them you're glorifying being fat and you're trying to tell people that it's okay. Then I would agree with you. However, that's not what he's doing. But at least I haven't seen it. If you guys find the video of him sitting there eating a whole tub of ice cream by himself, or like eating an entire chocolate cake by himself, alright? And keep in mind, I think if he was doing that, like his wife would say something. Like, that's not really healthy. Because she's even said herself on that show she's worried about his health. Alright? So here's what I think. Ultimately, it boils down to this. If you think the man could use some advice, then give the man some advice. Alright? If you know of a really good diet that really works, or medication that helps to, that helps your body to break down foods faster. Alright? If you know of something like that you could tell him about. Maybe there's some YouTube videos where they have professionals talking about the difficulties of losing weight and why some people struggle with it and what kind of things they could do to help them lose weight faster and keep it off. Maybe you could help share some knowledge with them. Alright? Instead of just being mean, negative, and nasty, you could actually try and do something to benefit that person. Alright? But it's like he said in his other videos, trolls don't want to do any of that. They just want to troll and they just want to be mean and nasty. Alright? So, the trolls aren't helping. If anything, they are hurting the situation. And I'm going to explain why. If you are in a situation like this, the worst thing you can be is depressed. That is the worst thing. That depression will absolutely cause you to stay in bed, not do any exercise, do nothing but eat, not have a personal life whatsoever, not want to be around other people. There's a lot of things depression will do to you that will drastically hinder your ability to lose weight. All right. So if you think about all those traits I just mentioned, how many of those fit this guy? Exactly. Not very many. He's active. He's trying to lose weight. We've seen him exercising. All right. He's not stuffing his face all the time. He's not just laying in bed 24/7. You know, as far as I can tell, he's doing a lot of activities. All right. You know, and of course, I don't know for sure what his life is like when he's not making videos. I have no idea. Only thing I'm saying is my interpretation of what I'm seeing. All right. You know, another thing that could possibly help is music. Share some great music with him. One of the artists that I listen to a lot, and I'm going to play a segment of one of his videos, is Massive Man. All right. You know, and it fits in really well with this topic. The name of the video is called Unhappy. All right. And guess what? He's also a really big guy. All right. You know, and also his name goes into effect of that. If you say it faster, Massive Man. Mass of Man. All right. That's what his actual rap name is. Mass of Man. If you say it fast, it's Massive Man. And he is a very massive man. All right. You know, and keep in mind here, he's actually making music. He's not doing any type of media talking about, you know, it's okay to overeat, it's okay to be fat. He's not making anything like that. All right. And I think if you guys really paid attention, you would see. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Because I know if not, some of you trolls out there are going to see the video I'm going to play and you're going to go, oh, he's just like him. No, he's not. And this guy isn't just like all the other people who are trying to glorify being fat and saying it's okay to eat cake 24/7. He's not doing that. But like I said, not that I've seen. All right. By all means, if you can find videos of him saying you can eat cake 24/7, it's really okay, it's not going to be harmful at all, send me those videos. I don't think you can, because I really don't think that's what he's all about. Because like he said in that interview, he understands that this is a dangerous situation to be in. All right? So it's not like he's just in complete denial. He knows he needs to lose weight. And so what I think is, it's okay to tell someone you really should focus on being healthier. I think that's perfectly okay. That would be okay to tell this guy. Like, look, you don't look very healthy. And I think you should focus more on getting to a healthier lifestyle, right? Or whatever else. And I'm pretty sure his response would be like, yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. All right? I think he could just use some knowledgeable people to help him out. All right? That's what I think. But getting back to the depression, though, because like I said, that's the worst thing you can have. What you need to have is positivity. That positivity and seeing the bright side, all right, that is what is going to help him and anyone else in that situation to where they could actually overcome it and become healthier. All right. However, if that depression has set in and they cannot get rid of that depression, they're going to have a much harder time. And at that point, the depression is the first thing they have to address. Because if you don't address that depression, they're not going to want to do anything to help themselves. So you have to address the depression first, because without that, they don't have a chance. They may want to get out of that situation and not be, the same way they are at that current point in time. But because of that depression, they're just not going to be able to get to that point. All right. So you need to encourage positivity. All right. And that is not to say that, it's okay to glorify being fat. That is to say, though, that you can look at the glass half full. You really can. You still have breath in your lungs. You still have an opportunity to turn things around and get better. All right. So, yes, you should have a positive outlook on life. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The more positivity you can have, the better off you're going to be. But I would say the danger there is if someone has that amount of positivity and they're in denial, that's when it's a bad thing. And that is when I would say, bring them on your show and badger that person because they're in denial. Because they don't realize how dangerous it is for them to be in that condition. But, again, that's not what he said at all. I didn't see 1 ounce of being in denial here. All right? At least as far as that goes. As far as, making fun of yourself for being fat, for doing all that kind of stuff, there's some flaws in that personality trait. All right? But I think that is something that, people get older and they realize at certain points in their life that the things they thought were okay before is not okay anymore. Things change. All right. So let's go ahead and check out a few minutes of this video now. Now, keep something in mind, all right? As you just saw, he is so tall, he has to bend over to walk through the tour, all right? So, it doesn't matter, he's always going to be a big guy. So, you have to bear that in mind here, all right? So, much different situation here. I think for Massive Man, he is not in the same type of situation that, that other guy was in at all. He's just a really big guy. You know what I'm saying?
Lock the door, shut the window, turn the lights low. Achieving happiness every day is a life goal. Stuck inside a mind state I can't escape from. Never understood why this is what my brain does. Love it or hate it, I was born with this depression. Compulsive with my obsessions, my mind is a lethal weapon. It's overbearing, my mind is tearing to pieces. I've been fiending for some dopamine like an addict, I need it. Yeah, I need it, I want it, but don't receive it. What is the point of life? I don't understand the meaning.
Now, is it starting to clear up the negative and nasty comments you guys are sending people like this. You're doing nothing but hurt. You're making them worse off. Alright? And it's like I said, depression is the worst thing these guys could have. Don't try and be that demon in their head. They got enough of those already. Don't try and add to that. You know what I'm saying? That's not okay.
I dream it, I've been staring at the ceiling with my eyes wide open. At nighttime I'm screaming. People don't notice how bad it truly is till they stand around your casket with a basket full of gifts. I'd rather be dead than alive and unhappy. People think I'm joking, sorry, I'm not laughing.
Darkness all consuming.
Now just think about what he just said. I would rather be dead than alive and unhappy. Being happy is the thing that he craves the most. Alright. So now you look at George and you tell him, oh, it's not okay that you're happy. Really? That's the worst thing you could tell him. Don't try and shame him for trying to be happy. Alright? There's nothing wrong with that. That's not to say, you know, you could be as fat as you want and you should be happy about it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But to be thankful that you're still alive, you could be happy about that. To be happy and thankful that you still have opportunity to turn your life around and become healthier, you could be happy about that. You could be thankful for that. Alright? So, you know, we can't just throw out blanket accusations and try and tear everyone down because they're different than us. That's the way I'm viewing Piers Morgan right now. And I'm pretty sure, like, I saw a couple titles of his other videos. We may take a look at them, but I'm telling you right now, it's probably going to go about the same way. Alright? I am probably not going to agree with very much of anything he has to say. And I'm figuring most of the people he brings on the show, he probably brings them on there to tear them down. You're horrible. You're despicable. You shouldn't do this. You know. But you guys let me know. I don't know that much about it. I'm just going by what I've seen so far. Alright.
No one understands. Storm clouds always looming, rain that never ends.
Still caught up on all the shit that I'm lacking.
Alright, guys. So, sorry to cut off Massetti right here. Alright. But, you know, what he's talking about is similar, but not the same as talking about weight loss. Alright. And I've already done a reaction to the video. So, you guys can go to my reaction channel and check that out. Alright. But look. The fact of the matter is, I think encouragement is what these guys need the most. Right? Encouragement and support. You know, and that is what Massive Man gives his audience. Is support. You know, because a lot of the things he talks about is depression. And where he talks about the struggles that he has. Alright? And other people who have that same type of struggle find comfort in that because it lets them know they're not the only one who feels that way. And that is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, it sounds like a bad thing on the surface, but if you actually talk to people who identifies with that and feels the same thing, like they will tell you it actually helps. It's kind of like group therapy. All right. You know, you go to group therapy and you hear other people who struggle with the same thing. It gives you a sense of relief. It lets you let yourself off the hook a little bit. You're actually able to stop beating yourself up all the time. What is wrong with me? Why am I the problem? Why is everything I do just leads to more self-destruction, right? And then you just get in this negative feedback loop where you're just constantly knocking yourself down, right? Which leads to more depression. But then, once you actually hear other people explain that they go through the same exact thing as you are, you start to understand this is a problem that is quite common with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all let me know what y'all think. That's it for now, y'all.